following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Hey, Nico.
Doing great, my friend. How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm doing all right. We're one episode post 1 year anniversary.
Just back into it. Year 2 begins now, right?
Yeah, back in the saddle. What you been up to? What you been up to recently? You know, watch any good shows?
Shows is interesting. So I tried to get into the first episode of The Idol. And I don't even know. I think we were talking about this last week before we got a call.
We brought it up, yeah.
Where I tried starting watching it. There was a lot of sex and not a lot of content. Like there wasn't any like words. Like it was just all like tension, like sexual tension. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sitting alone in my room by myself. Like I don't even know if this is the show that I want to watch right now. So I moved off of it and I haven't been back since. But
right. I mean, I said it before. I said it a little bit last week. I mean, The Weeknd's my guy. I don't know. I think he just needs to stick to doing music.
I think that doing a intense show like this one, like a very like mature show like this, wasn't the best choice for like your acting debut. Like, do a part in the movie, like when Harry Styles did "Don't Worry, Darling." Did you see "Don't Worry, Darling"?
I've seen. I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
It's a really good movie, and he actually did really well.
Was that his first movie, or was that?
I think that was his first like major motion picture. Like it was like the first like big one, but he's had like small.
I saw the one where it was like back in like the 1950s or 60s, and it was during like I think the movie was about like the apocalypse, maybe, or like. Not the apocalypse. What am I trying to think of? It was like Cold War times.
Okay, I think that's Don't Worry. I think you're thinking of Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, is it Don't Worry, Darling?
Yeah, but then there's a twist at the end that I'm not going to spoil on. There's a bunch. It's like it kind of reminds me of like an M. Night Shyamalan film.
Oh, is it the movie where it's a simulation?
No, I didn't mean that. Oh, you did the cardinal sin of any sort of like Moranto's in the corner right now shunning you because next to kin would have been shaking their heads.
Well, I think you knew it before the ending, right? Or no? No? Oh, well, I'm sorry, everyone. Whoever hasn't seen the movie.
To put like a little like spoiler alert at the end.
Yeah, spoiler. Yeah. Oh, that was a good movie though.
It was a good movie, and he did really well.
Yeah.
So I think if The Weeknd, or if he wants to go by Abel in his acting, if Abel's, wants to be serious about this, I think that he should kind of stick to smaller roles first and get comfortable before taking on the role of a sex-drived nightclub owner with a rat tail.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Uncut Gems for like 8 minutes.
There you go. It's something.
I mean, that was something. You got in a fight with Adam Sandler. I mean, that's kind of cool to talk about.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's fun.
But like, the show itself, I've watched all the episodes. I'm caught up to. There's 4 episodes, only 5 episodes in the season. And I mean, I do agree. It's too much sex.
Yeah,
it's too much sex, and it's like, you know what I mean?
I want more like
I want more.
content.
Yeah, I want more like something.
So I graduated with a degree in TV, radio, and film production, and my thesis was a TV show. My thesis was I wrote a pilot for a TV show, and my 21-minute TV episode pilot was 30 pages. There's so much like non-verbal in the first episode of The Idol that I'm sure that the script wasn't very long. It had to have only been maybe 40 pages for an hour-long TV show, and that's a lot. There's a lot of time without talking, which was an interesting choice.
It's just like there's a lot of missing context too.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't want to spoil the rest of it. I already spoiled one thing. I don't want to spoil everything else, but I mean, and it's like I will say the best episode yet is episode 4.
Okay.
the last episode was the best one. I actually sat there and I was like, you know what? That was I was
solid,
actually
yeah.
like, yeah. But there's still those like uncomfortable moments.
Like,
Still.
Are you watching it alone or are you watching it with Isabella?
I watch it with Isabella.
Is
And
she like
it's-
covering your eyes at the?
Well, we like so whenever like one of those scenes happen, we just like look at each other and it's
Isn't
like,
there, like,
what did we just?
Isn't there
watch?
like a scene where like he's like trying to like talk dirty and it's like
That's in the second. I think it's in the second or
and
the
it's like
third
it's
episode.
like
You know,
disgustingly like almost like too like
I don't. I really want to
literal.
do an impression, but I don't want to like say it and get like that.
yeah we're trying to get monetized that way.
Ben, do you have any input?
Yeah, we got Ben with us today.
Shout out.
I saw a meme on it, and it was kind of funny. Mike, D'Angelo Johnson said to accept this trade on air.
I gotta take a look at it. I haven't seen his most recent offer. Did he comment? Oh, there
Oh,
it is.
he's
Mike,
watching the
accept my-
live stream.
Yeah, Mike, accept my trade on air.
Well, now we got to break it down.
All right. Well, here we go. This is Nico's Dynasty, by the way. Consists of
We're in
it's
year
10
two
men?
of this. Yeah, it's a 10-team dynasty
10-team?
league. This is gonna be a big dynasty fantasy football focused episode today.
All right, I'm in the wrong league. Okay, Neasy Dynasty. Okay. Holy hell! Oh my god! All right. Derrick Henry. So this is what he's sending me. Derrick Henry, Curtis Samuel, Sam Darnold, Jordan Palmer or Josh Palmer, Daniel Bellinger, 2024 first, 2024 third, 2025 third. For Daniel Jones, Deebo Samuel, DeAndre Swift.
That's a haul.
That's a haul.
Yeah.
That's a haul. D'Angelo, I don't think I could do that. Me personally, here's the thing. It's just
Look at that innocent smiley face you put in the chat. You can't not.
Or is that a winky face?
No, that's a smile.
A smiley face? Okay. Here's the thing. Let's break it down.
Smiley.
I do have Deebo Samuel on the trade block. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
He is on the trade block. DeAndre Swift,
You're
I
high
want
on
to.
DeAndre Swift.
I am high on DeAndre Swift, and that's the thing is
We
like
talked about this.
right now he is projected only like if you look at his projection right now, like and the season hasn't started. If we're going based off projections, he's only projected like 10 points. So nothing crazy right now, but I think that's because of his medical condition. He doesn't have a medical condition, but like his injury history, and who else is in the backfield? Because you saw what Philly did in the Super Bowl. Miles Sanders was not even a thought in that offense in the Super Bowl. They're very lenient on mainly Kenneth Gainwell and a touch of Boston Scott here.
A little hint of Boston Scott.
Little hint of Boston Scott. Miles Sanders was like 2 carries for like -3 yards or something
And then
like
like
that.
5 catches.
5 catches. You know, it's not a lot of action from him. And you saw he went on to go play for Carolina. They let him walk in free agency. They also brought in Rashad Penny too. Rashad Penny, when healthy, is a pretty good running back. So right now, I'm holding on to DeAndre Swift. It's too early to tell yet. If DeAndre Swift looks the best out of those running backs in training camp, and he's going into the season as a starter, I'm going all in on DeAndre Swift. He's probably gonna get plugged into my fantasy, like the starting lineup. So that's that. Daniel Jones. I'm not the highest on Daniel Jones. I like him. He's my second quarterback. He's my quarterback flex. So I like him as my quarterback flex. He realistically, for the right price, could be moved, but I would have to get something in return. I just don't think I want Derrick Henry right now.
Oh yeah, you have Joe Burrow too.
I have
and Jordan Love.
My quarterbacks are Burrow, Love, and Daniel. I'll just do a quick kind of like brisk through my starting lineup. Joe Burrow quarterback, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara are my running backs, and that could get a little shaky, to be honest, because Alvin Kamara hasn't been the most.
D'Angelo said you want to move Daniel Jones and Deebo?
Possibly. Well, hold on. Josh Jacobs and Alvin Kamara. Kamara hasn't been the greatest situations of
Yeah,
recent.
he's got a pending suspension that we don't know enough about yet to make a determination on whether or not it's going to affect him this season.
Right, Josh Jacobs has been. Rumor has it he's trying to hold out, or he is holding out, but there's a very big possibility he doesn't play Week 1 because of the contract holdout. So the rest of my team is Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson. I really like those receivers in a dynasty. George Kittle, tight end, top 3 tight end. Then my flexes, I have Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin, Terry McLaurin. I really like Terry McLaurin. Deebo, 2 years ago, I was like, wow, he's like a top 5 fantasy player. But then last year, kind of got fizzled out a little bit. San Francisco's offense is constantly moving and changing and whatnot. So that's why Deebo Samuel could get moved. Plus, I already have Kittle. I don't know. I'm not the biggest stack guy
Yeah.
when it comes to stacking in a lineup. I'm not the biggest stack. But, I mean, Kittle and Samuel, it's just more of like there's so much question marks around their quarterback situation where I'm like, what can I get for this guy, for Deebo? Holding on to Kittle, because I got Kittle from Rodney recently. Jordan Love's actually my starting quarterback flex right now. And then, Daniel Jones, DeAndre Swift is on my bench. I got, like, Kenneth Gainwell. I got, like, Jackson Smith and Jiba, Tyler Lockett also just brewing on my bench. So, I mean, right now, yes, D'Angelo. Wait.
He said go through my team. He wants us to go through his team.
Go through my team. All right, we're going through the team.
So his team is actually really solid.
Okay, huge fantasy guy, team, cool-ass guy for real.
So, for context, he was last place last season, but he went through a complete overhaul. He traded me the first overall pick and then got a plethora of picks.
Right.
And then has just made a ton of moves that put him in a good position to and you'll see. You'll see. Well, his starting quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson and Kenny Pickett, which there's room there. But people are high on Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett, actually, we'll talk about it later, but he is a deep sleeper when it comes to quarterbacks, especially in Superflex. He right now, I think, is getting drafted at like quarterback 19 or 22, around that range. But he could potentially be like that Justin Fields and then somehow have like a top 12 season.
Right.
So Kenny Pickett, there's still room to judge there, but Lamar Jackson is at the forefront of his team. He made that trade a while back, and he had Justin Herbert at one point, and then traded him off for a whole bunch of picks. And then Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson as his running backs, solid. And then Devontae Smith, DK Metcalf. And I don't know when he grabs Kyle Pitts, but he has Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Marquise Brown. Dameon Pierce he was the 1-1 overall pick in the rookie draft last year.
Right.
Michael Pittman. And then some notable bench names: James Conner, Cam Akers, Isaiah Pacheco,
Troy Bateman, Brandon Ayuk.
Why does he want Debo if he has Brandon Ayuk? You tell me, D'Angelo.
Questions.
Treylon Burks is chilling down there. Chiggy Okonkwo, who might have a top 12 tight end season this year. Yeah, he's got some names on there.
So, all right. So I will say this, D'Angelo. We're on air. If you want Daniel Jones and you want Debo, here's the thing. I'm just right now. I am fine on Derrick Henry, but if you want Daniel Jones, then you're probably gonna have to throw in Kenny Pickett.
Ooh.
To be honest, and then. Or if you want Debo, maybe like Devontae Smith for Debo and something small.
Interesting.
Maybe
All right, we're doing a live negotiation.
Stream was hard to see. Might have to zoom in.
Yeah, we'll skip the screen for now.
Okay.
Because I don't know how to operate Sleeper on the desktop, and I don't think it's supposed to be.
I only have up the draft when we're drafting. That's
Yeah.
the only time I use it, and then like the draft board, I have the draft board up, and then when we're drafting, I usually do it on my phone.
I love the mobile interface, and I think obviously that's their target, but
Right.
yeah, there's some to be desired on the web browser.
Yeah. So if you want Daniel Jones, D'Angelo, maybe like Kenny Pickett and like a pick, or like a pick or two, Kenny Pickett and like a player. That's probably something like that. Or I don't know. Here's my thing. I'll say this. It's just I usually like a 1 for 2, 2 for 2, 2 for 1 kind of thing. Maybe 3 for 1, depending on. That's the thing. We're also at max roster too. We cut down.
We cut down 5 spots. So now like waivers are also going crazy.
Right. So that's what I say to you, D'Angelo. If you want Daniel Jones, and that's the thing with quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are kind of a scarcity, especially in Dynasty. If you want Daniel Jones, I'd probably only move him if Kenny Pickett is involved.
He said he can't do that for Debo. Let me send you something for DJ.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. In that meantime, I do want to talk about dynasty rankings, and specifically in the quarterbacks.
Right.
Obviously after the top 3, you got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. I think everyone would agree that they are the top 3 for dynasty.
You said Patrick
Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Would you agree with that?
Top 3?
Yep.
I mean, for Dynasty, yeah. For like for
if we're talking
fantasy football.
Dynasty fantasy football, yes. Points per game, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, in one of those orders.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue Lamar. It's just
so. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
So I say, if you have the top 3 picks in a dynasty startup draft, odds are it's going to start 1-1 Patrick Mahomes, 1-2 Josh Allen, 1-3 Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's pretty much how it is. If especially if it's super flex, if it's 1 QB, you might have Justin Jefferson in that top 3. But let's just talk about quarterbacks for right now. If you're sitting at that 1-4 to like 1-7 spot, and the quarterbacks in front of you are Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, who are you taking? What's the order there? And this is startup season, so what are you taking at that 1-4 spot?
the 1-4 spot. I mean, if we're going Dynasty, like in a redraft, it's a little bit different, obviously. Quarterbacks don't go to like the second round.
Yeah, we're talking Dynasty Superflex.
So Dynasty, I mean, for me personally, my strategy for Dynasty, I'm not trying to put out my strategy, but obviously, I mean,
that'll be for our future Patreon, guys.
Yeah, future Patreon, yeah. So my strategy is blank, and then blank, 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 then blank. No, but,
yeah, easy. Just pay $10 a month, and we'll have
$10
it
a month, and you'll find out. I know, but I mean, generally in Dynasty, you want to get quarterbacks because the quarterbacks are the point. They're the money grabbers.
They're the gold standard.
They're the breadwinners. The breadwinner is a good word. So generally, like in most of the Dynasty drafts that I have been in, you see quarterbacks go almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes you get a skilled player thrown in there. Like a Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson now.
Jamar Chase.
So right now, 1, 2, 3, Hurts, or Mahomes, Allen, Hurts. 4.
I mean, you're sitting there. You have Burrow, Herbert, Jackson, and Lawrence ahead of you. Your pick of them. Who are you taking there?
I'm gonna say no to Herbert. I'm gonna go.
You don't believe in Kellen Moore's new looked offense?
I just need to see it for a season to see how it works. I mean, it worked with Dallas.
Hey, you only get 1-4 once.
1-4 once. Well, in fantasy, I want more of a dual threat guy, and that's why Jalen Hurts is 3. I mean, if we're talking top 10 quarterbacks in the league, Jalen Hurts is what was our
which
fifth
is crazy.
or sixth?
In my dynasty in our startup, I got him in the 3rd round.
That's crazy. That's actually insane.
Or it might have been turn 2 to 3, but in late 2, early 3 was where I got him.
Right. So Jalen Hurts, especially last season, has became one of the best dual threat quarterbacks. Lamar last season was just a mess. Like not all his fault. He's hurt.
The whole offense
the whole
was
team.
a mess. He was hurt. His whole team was hurt. He had no one to throw to.
Mm-hmm. I think personally, You either go Burrow or Jackson. If you want if you want to go on the safe side, I go Burrow 4. But if you want to play it risky and you really want to like seek out, Lamar can get back to that MVP season because everybody talks about that, then you go Jackson at 4. Herbert for me is more towards the end of the round. Like I'd probably say like 8 or 9. Honestly.
8 or 9 for Justin Herbert?
Yes.
Oh no,
that is
my friend.
Maybe that is a cold take,
take.
or hot take. Maybe
That
that's
is
a hot
take.
I'm being honest because
I'm taking Herbert over Jackson. I'll be quite honest.
Really?
I don't know.
In that offense, now
I don't know if I can agree on that.
I was just in a startup a couple months back, in D'Angelo's league actually,
Yeah.
and I had the 1-7 spot, and I was lucky enough to get Lamar at 1-7. I was really happy with that pick, but Justin Herbert was already ahead of him. Justin Herbert's going into a new offense with Kellen Moore, has Keenan Allen still to throw to, Mike Williams, now Quentin Johnston to throw to. Austin Eckler is still looking like he has a couple years left in the tank.
Still number one
It's
fantasy.
a young offense that, and Josh Palmer, even when you push Josh Palmer into your wide receiver 4 spot, that's someone. So I look at the plethora of weapons around him. Well, a lot of times, like we were texting about this the other day, where there are good offenses that elevate quarterbacks to be good fantasy plays, like Kirk Cousins.
We're reading this. You don't even need Daniel Jones. Wait, hold on. I can't even read this.
Said 8 or 9. 8 or 9 for Herbert is insane, Mike.
Yeah, the chat agrees.
Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, Herbert. Okay.
Yep, I'm right. That is my exact same top 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
okay.
What I was going to kind of get to is you have good offenses that elevate decent quarterbacks to be good fantasy plays, like your Kirk Cousins or even whoever's playing on the 49ers. They're going to be fantasy relevant because of that offense around them. But then you have good offensive talent that's surrounded, or you have good offensive talent that's surrounding already great quarterbacks. So you have Joe Burrow, who's a great quarterback, who has a great offense around him. That's what makes him a top 4 play. You have Justin Herbert, who has all of the tools and is a great quarterback. I know he gets hate. He gets the social media quarterback comments, but we're talking fantasy here, and he is ripping you through points. He's a top 5 pick for me. Easy.
He ripped through points for me last year.
I think you just got stung by him last year, and now you're having some second thoughts.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think he's a good quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
It's just, but here's the thing. Realistically, if you're doing a draft, a startup, I mean, you're gonna have a guy go Justin Jefferson at 5. You're gonna have a guy, you know what I mean? There's gonna be those skill players that go too. So then, I don't know. It's just, I like Hurts and Jackson's. Their dual threat ability, and also you add what Baltimore got. I mean, if those guys are healthy, Bateman, Odell, and then if you develop Zay Flowers, and you got Mark Andrews.
Listen,
I mean,
I love Lamar Jackson. We're talking 2019 MVP. We're talking he is this generation of people growing up watching football. He is to them what Michael Vick was for us in that dual threat, big arm, that speed that is unlike anyone. He is such a fun player to watch, one of the most dynamic players in the football field. But when you're talking from a dynasty perspective, you have you got to take a look at his injury history. He hasn't played a full season the last 2 years. The offense around him is unproven. Rashad Bateman looks like he'll be good, but he can't stay on the field.
right.
They signed Odell Beckham, but this is Odell Beckham coming off of his 2nd or 3rd ACL tear. You have, Mark Andrews is a stud. That's a given. You have Mark Andrews, but then the backfield behind them also can't stay healthy. So I don't know. I'm taking a look. I was blessed to have Lamar Jackson at 1-7, but at that 1-4 spot, the certainty, I'm taking Burrow or Herbert any day.
I'm going Burrow or Lamar. I don't know. I mean, I can understand the Herbert at 5 point. I can. It's just, I have him 5 in terms of dynasty, like quarterback rankings. I just do. But if we're talking about like an actual draft, as I said, you obviously Justin Jefferson is going to be up there too.
Yep.
There's going to be that guy who's like, oh, I can get a quarterback 4th round, and then he's stuck with like
He's stuck.
He's
having,
stuck with like
having both
Trey Lance
and Brock Purdy. Yeah,
Well, I mean, I have that, but I got those. I got
at
Trey
different
Lance
circumstances.
yeah, those are different circumstances. But like, you know, he had those guys who are like, oh, I'm going to develop my team. I'm going to get all my core skill players out of the way.
I will say this: Justin Jefferson is an absolute asset to have in Dynasty. In Keep Trade Cut right now, for those unfamiliar with Keep Trade Cut, it's a basically crowdsourced rankings. Every time you go onto the website, they give you 3 players, keep, trade, or cut, and you have to pick, and then that kind of helps bolster their rankings. Right now, the top 5 players are Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then Justin Jefferson at 3, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow.
That's what I'm saying. It's not crazy. Justin Jefferson goes top 5.
Yeah. You're right.
You know.
I'll give you that.
It's not crazy. So I mean, that's why. Okay, 8 or 9's stretching it. I will say that 8 or 9 is stretching it. So
1-7 is what Keep Trade Cut has him. He is 7th ranked total.
Okay, so I'd say like 7. Yeah, 7. Maybe 7 is a good spot. I mean, 8 or 9 is a little crazy.
He is
maybe 7, 8 at most. 6, 7.
Herbert is QB5 on Keep Trade Cut. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are the only 2 non-quarterbacks that are ahead of him.
Okay.
I mean, hey.
I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy. What I said was that crazy, but okay, I can see it.
Listen,
7.
if I have 1-9 and Justin Herbert falls to me, I'm praising the Lord.
Oh yeah,
I'm praising the Lord.
Yeah.
It's not that crazy. You just had to develop your thought there.
My yeah.
You just threw it out there, and you were just like.
Well, yeah, no. If we're talking like quarterback rankings, then I'm having as what we said, Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, and then 5 or 6 is Lamar or Herbert. So, and that's like Dynasty. But then like we take a look at, I mean, we did our top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and Herbert wasn't in our top 5. I don't think. We had the guy on from Nebraska, the Chargers guy, and he he was like, "Where's Justin Herbert?" And I'm like, "Listen, I like Justin Herbert. I do. I just need a little bit more. I just need a little bit more." The guy from Nebraska. I'm sorry. I don't know.
He was a great guest.
Yeah.
Shout out him.
Shout out him. Chargers Powder Hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yes. So sorry, that guy from Nebraska. Sorry, I didn't want that to be rude. I didn't. You know. But
Moving on.
Anyways, did D'Angelo send me a new offer? He did. All right, let's touch back on this.
Let's hear it.
Daniel Jones and a 4. I don't know if he's still listening or not. Daniel Jones and my 4th for Sam Darnold, Palmer, Bellinger, 2024 first.
Wait, say that again?
So Darnold, Palmer, Bellinger in a 2024 first for Daniel Jones and a 2024 4th.
This dude has been shopping Darnold around like he was like 2018 Darnold. I think I've gotten like 4 trade offers from him for Darnold.
I can't do it. I can't. I need, if I'm trading Daniel. Oh, here's the thing.
I don't know. It sounds like a whole lot of hoopla.
I'm getting a first. I'm getting a first. So
is it next year's first? 2024.
2024.
Okay.
It's
probably
your cousin's first.
Look. Okay. All right. Is it Sean's first?
Sean's first. Yeah.
I don't know how his team is this year. His team's getting old.
That's the thing. I know he has some players, but the thing is, it's like his average age of players, I think, is
actually this is kind of like the last year of his window. He's got Russell Wilson and Geno Smith as his quarterbacks, but then he's got Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams. So he's got some sense. So that might be a low first.
Yeah.
You put it in that perspective.
So I don't know. I don't want to wait for a quarterback. I mean,
let me tell the world something about Mike Pareto, specifically in fantasy football.
I don't like the trade.
Mike Pareto does not trade. Mike Pareto does not trade unless he is a clear-cut winner.
All right. Well, no. I won't say that. I like a fair deal. I like a fair deal.
A fair deal for you.
A fair deal for everybody. A fair deal for everybody. I
don't think I've ever gotten a trade out of you before. I don't think we've played fantasy football in the same leagues in redraft, dynasty.
We've traded
since high school.
We've traded before.
And I don't think we've ever landed a trade together.
We've traded before. We've had to trade something.
We've had negotiations, but I don't think they've ever followed through.
I don't know.
Although we should talk about those trades those rare trades that you did have in Jules' Dynasty League.
That's the thing. I've been trading a little bit in that league.
You're coming out of your shell a little bit in that league.
I'm going out of my shell, and I'm not. And that's the thing is like before this year, I was very like kind of in my shell. That's a good word to put it. It was more of like I like playing the safe side. I didn't want to I like my team. I don't want to screw it up. And in Jules' Dynasty League, I mean, I've been making trades for sure. I mean, I've been shuffling guys around. I know yesterday or 2 days ago, this is kind of like a risky trade. Kind of in like the same boat somewhat as Sean, who just mentioned, but I do have Anthony Richardson cooking and Trey Lance cooking, or Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. So I'm guaranteed a San Francisco quarterback. My quarterbacks right now, Kirk Cousins and Geno Smith. And what I did was I had Russell Wilson and Geno Smith starting. I finished second place in this league last year. So what I did was I offered Dame. Saw he had Kirk Cousins just chilling on the bench, and I was like, all right, Russell Wilson, Deontay Foreman, 2024 fourth. I had 2 fourths. Deontay Foreman, I don't know if he's going to be a starter or not. The whole Chicago running back room seems like a big old rotation. And then you're basically, Russell Wilson was, I think, Sleeper has him quarterback 16 last year. Kirk Cousins was quarterback 6 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically getting a guy just outside the top 5, trading him for a guy just outside the top 15, trading for a guy who's outside the top 5, then throwing in Foreman in the 4th. I don't think it's that crazy, but I mean, you obviously don't want to acquire a 34-year-old quarterback in Dynasty.
Say it again. It was Foreman, a 4th, and Russell Wilson for Kirk Cousins.
It's basically swapping Wilson and Cousins the same age, and then throwing in Foreman and a 4th rounder. I have 2 4s. So I still have a 4th.
I mean, you can
you
can get another 4th back. Fourths. I mean, there are some hits. You get some hits. They're like more like lottery tickets, I think.
Right. So like a redraft 4th is different, way different, completely different.
Right.
But like a dynasty rookie 4th is like,
yeah, you're getting practice squad players, late round picks.
This guy is probably going to be like a bench guy for sure for like the first
undrafted free
half.
agents. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's most likely staying. He's going to be on your taxi squad for some degree. So I think Kirk Cousins, I mean, he had in fantasy terms, I know like our Minnesota Vikings friends, listeners probably would be like, oh, screw Kirk Cousins, he's a fraud. But I mean, fantasy-wise,
like I said, we talked about, this is a situation where you have a really good offense surrounding the quarterback, which elevates that player to fantasy relevance.
Right, and it's just he's throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson, best receiver in the NFL.
Upgraded from Adam Thielen to Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison was the 21st or 22nd pick in the draft, first-round pick, wide receiver. And then you have KJ Osborne, who had a solid year as well. He's a great piece as well. And you have TJ Hawkinson, who, many people.
Let's not forget about TJ Hawkinson.
Top 5, top 6 tight end, maybe even top 4. And yeah, I mean, imagine if they can get like a guy to like run some routes out of the backfield. He's a dangerous guy at 34 years old.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins. But the thing is like, you're going to have like the Vikings fans come on and be like, oh, he hasn't done anything. I don't care what the Vikings do this year.
It's all about the points.
It's all about Kirk Cousins, man.
I only care about the offense.
That's the thing. I don't care if they're getting blown out 45-14. If Kirk Cousins has 400 yards passing, I don't know how that's possible, but I'm just saying in retrospect, like, if he has 400 yards passing and he loses, cool. Mm-hmm. That's good for me. But like, I'm trying not to, put what they are as an NFL player, like what they've done successfully. I mean, like Phillip Rivers probably like never won a Super Bowl, but you're damn right, good ass fantasy quarterback, back in the day. But And then I just traded Marquise Brown for Rashad White. That was a little bit interesting because
So you gave up Marquise Brown and you got Rashad White.
Mhm.
So the
How do you feel
interesting
about
thing
that?
about this, I kind of go back and forth with it because it really depends on what you need more on your team. I think they finish in similar like rankings, like RB. They'll probably finish both in the top 24 in their positions. Marquise Brown now has the opportunity to be wide receiver 1 inside of Arizona. The problem is, though, we don't know who's throwing the ball to him. Is it going to be Kyler Murray? Is he going to be back week 1? Probably not.
Colt McCoy.
Is it going to be Colt McCoy or is it going to be Clayton Tune? We have
Tune.
no idea. And so bad quarterback play is going to bring his stock down, and so he's a great buy low candidate if you're a dynasty player and you're thinking about acquiring some assets. I'm buying low on Marquise Brown, but Rashad White is the same thing. If you look at those like advanced next gen stats, people like the stat nerds are really low on Rashad White because of his running efficiency, I guess, was down. Now, that being said, Tampa Bay went through or is going through an offensive line rebuild.
Right.
They have subpar to poor quarterback play right now, with Tom Brady retiring. So it could be it could be a coin flip on whether or not that's a benefit for him because he's getting more looks, more touches, or if it makes the offense too one-dimensional. To where the run is getting stopped over and over, and teams are forcing Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask to pass.
Yeah.
So both sides have their gambles, have their ups and downs. Like I said, I think they both finish up top 24 in their positions when it's all said and done by the end of the season. But it really comes down to what you need more on your team at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the upside of Rashad a little bit more because it's just like those quarterbacks are going to be just crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to be relying on White as well. And so he's going to get his touches for sure. I mean, that's my thing. It's just I don't like the layout of the future for either team, Tampa Bay or Arizona.
They're both going to be probably top 10 picks in next year's draft.
Right. So I just think that right now, I don't know. Marquise is still only 26. I mean,
Oh, yeah, they're both great young players. And in Dynasty, I'd be happy to have either of them.
right. It's just like my running back room. I mean, my running backs are Eckler and Bijan. And then I have James Cook, A.J. Dillon, Jeff Wilson, Damian Harris. Then, like, my receivers are Amon-Ra, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Pittman, Michael Thomas, Romeo Doubs, George Pickens, Paris Campbell, Jordan Addison. So I like my receiver room.
A little bit better.
More
Yeah, I mean,
than the
those are
running back room.
both your rooms are pretty solid.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a reason why you came in second place last year.
Right, and it's yeah. Well, here's the thing. I had Patrick Mahomes. Let's not forget, I had Patrick Mahomes in this league.
And you gave him up
I
for a
gave
haul,
him up.
right?
I gave him up for a haul. I don't know if you guys
Who are your
remember
quarterbacks
this.
now?
What's up?
Who are your quarterbacks now?
They're Anthony Richardson, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. So, Kirk Cousins and Geno, I'm plugging them in now. Geno was top 10 quarterback last year in fantasy. Kirk Cousins top 10 quarterback in fantasy.
On paper, you have, two top 10 quarterbacks.
They're just 32 years and older.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm fine, to be honest. It just all depends on if those guys pay. If Anthony Richardson comes out and has a baller of a rookie year,
Which I think he will.
yeah, then he's going to be great. And I'm guaranteed one of these San Francisco quarterbacks, unless Sam Darnold comes out of the heavens and
Returns back to number 3 overall pick form.
right, and he hasn't at all, I don't think, in his career. So it's just like that. There's so many rumblings about that, and I'm just like I just don't want to buy into the hype.
Yeah.
It's Sam Darnold we're talking about. So I just wanted more security at running back as well. I might be cutting Jeff Wilson. If Dalvin Cook gets signed, Jeff Wilson's probably getting cut on this team, to be honest, because then he falls to like 3rd on the depth chart, and then
Maybe 4th because Devin Akane is going to be right around the
that's
corner.
thing. He's breathing down his neck. So yeah, if Dalvin Cook gets signed to Miami, Jeff Wilson is going to the butcher's block for sure.
The butcher's block.
Yeah, but I just like my receiver room a little bit more. Michael Thomas, I'm hoping can salvage something from him this year. He can stay healthy, but I doubt it. Romeo Dobbs though and George Pickens are two of my secret weapons. I think
Your buy candidates for this summer.
right now they're sitting on my bench, but I bet you by the end of the season they're both going to be streaming.
Yeah.
On this team. That's enough about my team. Speaking of D'Angelo, I don't know if you're still watching or not, but you recently took part in his first startup Dynasty League.
Yes, I did. I'm trying. I'll just pull it up from my phone. I couldn't, for whatever reason. Again, interface on Sleeper's web app. Just going to go to my phone and go through the startup. I already talked about. I had 1-7 in that draft, and I'll tell you how the startup went. So in this league, here we go. It was like we talked about. Number 1-1 was Patrick Mahomes. 1-2 was Josh Allen. 1-3, Justin Jefferson. 1-4 was Jalen Hurts. And then went 1-5, Joe Burrow. 1-6, Justin Herbert. And then I had Lamar Jackson at 1-7. And then for the first round, that followed with Jamar Chase at 1-8, Justin Fields at 1-9, Trevor Lawrence at 1-10, CeeDee Lamb at 1-11, and Deshaun Watson that snuck in at 1-12.
I'm just saying, man. That Herbert at 7 thing isn't crazy, or 7 or 8. It's just it depends on.
You said 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Okay, 8 or 9. I take it back. I take it back.
You also said it very out of context. So, like,
6 or 7.
You had to explain yourself there.
Right. So 6 or 7. Same. Keep going. Yeah.
So yeah, with me having the 1-7, it was a snake draft, of course. I had with the second round pick, I ended up going for Amon-Ra St. Brown. We were texting each other during this because I was kind of going back and forth on whether or not I wanted A.J. Brown or Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or it came down to Amon-Ra or Jalen Waddle. And I kind of thought back and forth about this. I ended up opting going for Amon-Ra. I'm taking a look at this year and beyond. We don't really know beyond Amon-Ra St. Brown what's going to happen with that wide receiver room. Jameson Williams, all the hype that he received, suspended 6 games. So that's another 6 weeks that he has to go without playing football at the NFL level. And then ultimately with Jalen Waddle, I mean, he's behind Tyreek Hill for at least the next few years. So
Yeah.
I ended up taking Amon-Ra, and then in the third round, this was fun, I grabbed Kyle Pitts. I am holding out hope for him. I think that he's still a top-tier tight end. He was the second tight end taken overall. Travis Kelce was the first one taken. And that's just a testament to Travis Kelce. I mean, 34? 33 years old, and he's a second-round pick in a Dynasty startup. But then I grabbed Kyle Pitts, and then I'm not going to go deep into it, but another highlight was I grabbed for my QB2, Jordan Love. And I'll be honest, I didn't grab another quarterback until I got a handcuff in Tyler Huntley. I am fully aboard the Jordan Love train. I have seen, conflicting reports throughout the offseason, but I think that he has all of the physical tools to really shine this year. And you know what, Christian Watt, he's got a young core around him. So if they even have a little bit of a uptick in production, or just you see those little signs of efficiency, the sky's the limit for him. I mean, he had, like I said, physical tools is all there, and a young offensive core around him. And then I snuck back into that same round and grabbed Rachaad White. So that was good. Overall, I'll just, without kind of going all the way through my draft, my quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson and Jordan Love. My running backs, Derrick Henry and Javonte Williams, as well as Rachaad White. And then I also made a trade a little bit after the draft, and I have James Conner as another running back too. My wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Cooks I was able to grab late. He is definitely in a dynasty startup, someone that will be going in like the 9th and 10th round, and he is totally a draft in the 9th or 10th round. He has CeeDee Lamb on the other side of him and Dak Prescott in a pass-heavy offense, and he has just been a
Michael Gallup.
He has been no. Michael Gallup dream is dead.
Michael Gallup.
He can gallop onto the wide receiver 3 role. But no, Brandon Cooks has just been a solid contributor, and I think on the Cowboys it's going to be no different. My tight ends: Kyle Pitts, David Njoku,
Really good tight ends.
Isaiah Likely.
Really good tight ends.
And then I drafted in the second round Luke Musgrave, who I think is going to walk in and be the starter come week
Those
one.
are some. You got some good tight ends.
Tight end premium league.
That's
Gotta
the
grab
thing. You
him.
got Njoku, who would start on a lot of teams. A lot of teams probably.
He finished as tight end 10 last year.
Right. Isaiah Likely is a guy who I've been seeing possibly break out, and it's more of the whole like this receiver thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't work out for Baltimore. They kind of go to like a more of a 2 tight end set.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of 12 personnel, to be honest.
And Isaiah Likely, I mean, he when he was in for Mark Andrews last year, I mean, he was, he's pretty good.
And again, I'll be honest, I traded back up. I traded back in to grab Isaiah Likely. In the mid, I think I grabbed him in like the 11th or 12th round. But 13th actually, so it was an absolute steal for him. I traded back in to grab him. I ended up giving up some later picks in the draft in the process, but maintained all of my like future rookie picks, which was great. So at the end of the day, I'm happy I grabbed him, and now I have him in a pair up with Lamar Jackson. So in Dynasty, I'm very big on grabbing stacks. I think getting stacks is the best way to go for maximum point outlook. In my Dynasty League, I drafted Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown back-to-back, and that paid dividends for me. So I kept a similar strategy in this startup with Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Likely, and then grabbing Jordan Love and Luke Musgrave. I wish I was able to be in a position to grab, if I grabbed like a Christian Watson or a Zay Flowers, but the cards just didn't really play out well for me. I ended up drafting Jackson Smith and Jiba with my it was 1-6 in the rookie draft, but I traded him.
That's what he's usually going for in the rookie drafts, is like 1.5 to like even 1.4. But like I see more of the Jahmyr Gibbs hype, so I've been seeing Smith and Jiba go like 1.5.
I was
like
thrilled to
1.8.
grab him there, but I was given an offer I couldn't refuse. Charles
Pretty
Lamar.
sure in your draft I got Jack Smith and Jiba at 7.
It was like 1-7, which was just late, which is an awesome pickup for you.
I was like, oh, don't mind if I do.
So I want to talk about this trade offer. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I sent it to you already, but let's kind of go into it.
Okay.
So I drafted Jackson Smith and Jiba at 1-6, and I intended on playing him in flex and streaming him all this season. Although I was given an offer for him. So here's the trade that I shipped him off. I shipped off JSN with Raheem Mostert. And I got back James Conner, Jonathan Mingo, a second and a third next year, a first in 2025, and a second in 2026.
Pretty solid.
Whole load of picks and another rookie wide receiver. A second-round pick rookie wide receiver, I should say.
Yeah, Mingo, I think, is going to be one of those guys who is going to develop a good rapport with Bryce Young. Yeah. So, yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, James Conner, too, James Conner, a lot of people don't realize he's going to be a big piece of that offense because Colt McCoy is going to be starting week 1, or Clayton Tune. So, James Conner, he's a touchdown machine.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when healthy. So, but yeah, Mingo's a great pick. You got the picks, too, as well. So, I mean.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. I mean, I got a first, not next year, but the year after. Looking at Charles's team, he has a lot of older players. Come 2025, it might be more of a rebuild for him.
Yeah.
He already mortgaged up his future to try to win now. So we'll see how he ends up being.
Right now, for JSN, it's a little bit more of like he's going to be that wide receiver 3. But here's the thing is like Tyler Lockett's 29 and 30. He's like, he's in early 30s or like late 20. I forget what he is. He's up there though. I mean, and I think he maybe have like a year or 2 left with Seattle. And I think once he's out the door, JSN and DK, that's going to be good.
Quite the tandem.
But yeah, like right now, the appeal on JSN. But here's the thing though: is if Seattle was anything like they were last year, then he's still going to be a good flex play this year.
And here's the flip side of it too that we should talk about. Geno Smith had a fantastic year last year. He could have won comeback player of the year. He didn't, right? It was someone else that ended up winning it though. But he was in contention to win it. And he was well deserving of it. He had a fantastic year last year, and he had a career revival. We don't know if that's going to happen again.
That could have been a one-year wonder.
It could have been. And,
One-year wonder.
I'm rooting for him. I love his story. I love everything about him, but we don't know for certain if that's going to be the deal. So, JSN is a serious contender for being a sell very high candidate. Especially if you can pull a projected early 2024 first and end up flipping JSN and getting an early first for next year and some change, where you have guys like Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., where you have those kind of names coming up. If you can somehow find a way to get a first early next year, that might pay you dividends in the long run if you want to be a serious dynasty.
Right.
There was something not related to my team I did want to talk to you about, and I wanted to get your thoughts. So we put out a post the other day, would you rather? And it was, would you rather have James Cook or Rachaad White, both second-year running backs? James Cook, obviously in one of the best offenses in the NFL, but has to share space with Damian Harris and potentially Nyheim Hines scavenging touches and Josh Allen scavenging goal line touches.
Right.
Or do you take Rachaad White, who has a porous offense, but just him around him? So the overwhelming response on the Instagram post was Rachaad White.
Here's my take on it. I think, and this may be I don't think it's much of a hot take or not, but I think James Cook is going to be better than Devin Singletary in this offense.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I'm taking Rachaad White. But here's the thing, though. It's like I heard White easily. I wouldn't say easily.
Yeah.
I would give him the slight advantage. It's just, again, we talked about it. You got to think of what that offense is. And that Tampa Bay offense isn't that great. But, he is the main back there. He had good flashes last year. But the thing about Buffalo is, and it pains me as a fan to say this, but we don't like running backs that much. We don't like utilizing our running backs to their potential.
Yep.
So that's the only thing. Last year we saw James Cook get used for, and like Nyheim Hines get used for.
When he was on the field, he was one of the most efficient running backs in the NFL. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And the stats back it up. But will Ken Dorsey and the Buffalo Bills offense utilize him in that fashion, or
that's what he was known for at Georgia,
right,
was catching the ball. I mean, he was a great runner last year. I mean, there were some games like the Chicago game. I think there was another game where he took over at some point when the offense wasn't hitting passing wise.
So just to kind of give some perspective on Keep Trade Cut right now, Rachaad White is RB26. And James Cook is RB30. So pretty similar in terms of.
That's what I'm saying. It's ADP. Like people are saying, "Oh, Rachaad White easily." I'm not saying easily. I'm saying like it's more of like who would you rather? They're literally like the same like ADP.
Yeah.
Like they're like they're like the same worth damn near. Both second year backs. But yeah, they're going into this season both the number one backs because last year he had to contend with Leonard Fournette. Cook had to deal with Devin Singletary. So right now, slightly Rachaad White.
And another point on that, like we talked about the next gen stats and the nerds and all that, right? But it's like two sides of the coin where the next gen stats say that James Cook was one of the most efficient runners in the NFL last year, and then they're saying, and the same side of the coin, Rachaad White was one of the least efficient runners in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So it'll be really interesting to see where they ultimately end up finishing.
Yeah.
It's, again, like overutilization of Rachaad White and underutilization of James Cook. Where do they end up missing? Honestly, odds are they probably finish around the same area.
Right. That's
RB2
what I think.
is my guess.
That's what I think. And I mean, but the thing is what I will say this, though. Right now I'm giving the edge to White, but I think that there is more of a ceiling for Cook.
Agreed.
Yeah. There's more of a ceiling for Cook. If they can really, dive into this playbook and develop an offense that, is not predictable and is not, one-dimensional, then James Cook can develop into something, great. He could develop almost into – I think he has the potential to be like his brother.
Yeah,
but
I think so too.
It's just right now the murkiness of what we might be getting a whole different look at the Bills' offense that we haven't seen. They might be re-scrapping the whole thing.
They might be in the lab right now.
With and the Dalton Kincaid drafting in the first round was a good
More
tale.
12 personnel. Yeah, we could see it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Before we go, we talked about this a little bit pre-show. I want to test your brain a little bit.
Oh, brother.
Shout outs to I forget the page that we saw on TikTok.
You texted it to me.
Yeah, I forget their name, but they know who they are. I can't think of their name off the top of my head, but just want to give you guys credit. We're not stealing your idea or anything. We just saw it, got some inspiration. We wanted to use this in our show. I don't think it's like a signature thing that they do. I think multiple accounts do it, but this is the account that we saw. But they know who they are. I see their TikToks always come up on my feed.
It was BDG, right? Was that the one that
I think it was BDG
with the grids?
or,
with the grids.
It's either BDG or
it was also it was like something like football nerds or whatever.
Oh, it's Nerd Sesh. I think.
Nerd Sesh. Yep, that's the one. I
think it's Nerd Sesh. So Nerd Sesh, not copying you guys. Just putting that out there. So Nico, can you name me the leading receivers of the Buffalo Bills since 2000?
So
So from 2000 till 2022, last 22 years, who were the leading receivers?
Okay. So I got to work my way back. Do you have the list in front of you? Like, can you see them all right now?
Yes.
Okay. So do I have to give you dates or just names?
So basically, like, you just gotta give me names.
Okay.
So if I say 2000, if we say, like, we're starting 2000, you just gotta say the name, and then I'll tell you where he ranges from, and then from that endpoint, you go on.
All right.
So if he was like 2000 to like 2009, then you pick up at 2009.
Got it.
He
Okay.
wasn't the leading receiver.
All right. Okay. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is in there.
All right. So Stephon Diggs is 2020 to 2022.
Okay. Easy enough.
That's easy money.
I know Sammy Watkins was in there.
Sammy Watkins was 1 year.
Was it, 2014, 15? 14. I know Terrell Owens was there once.
Terrell Owens is 2009.
Who was it in 28? John Brown, I know, was 2020 or 2019, right? 2019.
Yes.
2018 was. It wasn't Zay Jones, was it?
2018 was Zay Jones.
Okay. All right.
So John Brown was 2019. You're correct.
John Brown 2019, Zay Jones 2018, Stephon Diggs past that. So what am I missing? 2015 and 2016.
So 2014 to 2015 was Sammy Watkins. So you
2016.
You basically have 18 to 22, 14 to 15, and then 09.
Okay. Give me Scott Chandler, the tight end.
Scott Chandler is, yes, you are correct. Scott Chandler is 13.
Okay. I'm getting somewhere. Let me go back in time a little bit. Eric Moulds is up there for sure.
Eric Moulds is from 98 to 05, so you get 2000 to 05.
All right, I cleaned up there. Give me Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson is 10 to 12.
So where am I? What years am I?
You're missing 06 to 08 and 2016.
That's it? That's all I'm missing?
Yeah.
06 to 08 and 2016.
You're doing pretty good.
2016 wasn't Charles Clay, was it?
2016 is not Charles Clay.
Wide receiver or tight end? Or running back?
Wide receiver.
It's not Sammy Watkins. Was it? Is the player still in the NFL? Robert Woods.
Robert
It
Woods.
was Robert Woods. Yep.
All right, so 2017.
2017 would have been. Was that a tight end?
You said
Was it Charles Clay?
Charles Clay is 27.
Okay.
So you're missing 06 to 08.
It wasn't like someone like Roscoe Parrish, was it?
No, not the Roscoe.
And it wasn't Roscoe Parrish. Is it? Oh, this one's gonna. I feel like there's more tight ends in there. The Bills haven't had great wide receivers. You know, there was Eric Moulds, Stevie Johnson, but in between that time,
Their tight end was Robert Royal. He was not the leading tight end, though.
no, Robert Royal,
Robert Royal.
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble is there.
Is it how many players am I missing?
You're just missing one.
Just one player from
One
2006 to 2008.
Yeah.
I might need a hint. This is where I'm blanking here.
I don't know if I can give you a hint. His number is not in the teens.
His number is
Okay, that's like the only one I can give you. Yeah.
He's a wide receiver.
wide receiver.
Trying to think of the quarterbacks at that time.
Quarterbacks 06 to 08 was like leaving J.P. Lossman. You're getting in like Trent Edwards. It's Navy, known for wearing navy blues. The navy blue.
Yeah, it's a navy blue era.
Yeah, that's navy blue era.
I can't. I'm gonna
You
keep
giving
the
up?
show on. Yeah, I
You giving
I
up?
quit there.
Lee Evans.
Lee Evans. That's
Lee
one
Evans.
thing. Oh yeah.
06 to 09.
Hey,
Oh, wait.
I got what 20 out of 22.
Yeah,
or
you got 20
19 out of 22.
You got like 19 years out of 22 years.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I'll
doing
give
good.
myself
I was
that.
surprised with Scott Chandler and the Charles Clay ones. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew Charles Clay was up there for some weird reason in one of the years because Tyrod Taylor and Charles Clay had a good connection.
Charles Clay was the leading receiver in 2017 with only 558 receivers.
Yeah, that was a rough year.
That is horrible.
But like the interesting thing was like that was the Bills' playoff year. That was the year that broke the drought.
That's disgusting.
It was all on the back and the legs of LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have one for me or no?
I don't have a one prepped for you.
You could just throw one out there and I can
I'm trying to think of
name
like
it. But I mean, if you don't have the list, then
I want to think of like
I got a good football knowledge, man. I got an encyclopedia up there. What about Ben? Let's test Ben.
It's been too long.
Been too long.
Here we go.
Too far
Actually,
too long.
What
I have,
size?
let's see. Give me one moment. I'm just pulling it up. Here we go.
What size cup does Travis Kelce wear?
What?
How the hell am I supposed to
I'm supposed to know big yak questions.
Yeah, it's the Big Yak.
C cup.
Big
C cup. There you
Big
go.
Cup podcast. So here's one for you.
Okay.
Can you name me every player that has received over 100 passes from Ben Roethlisberger?
How many players are there?
There
Can
are
you tell me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players
13. Oh wow.
that have had over 100 receptions from Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. All right. So, like career wise or in a season?
Career.
Oh,
Career.
okay. Career wise. Oh. All right. So, Ben Roethlisberger was what 2005, 2006, I think, or like he was like one of those years.
2005 draft.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go Hines Ward.
Yep.
Obviously.
He's up there.
Is Antoine Randall there?
No, he only has 75 receptions
close.
from Big Ben.
All right. Heath Miller.
Yep. Second
Um,
place with 540.
Yeah, Heath Miller's up there. Deontay Johnson.
Yep, 188.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yep, 272.
Antonio Brown.
Yep, he's the leader at 796. No one else touched him.
Manuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders is on there, 146.
Give me Le'Veon Bell.
Yes, 283,
Okay.
fourth most.
How many am I at right now?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I already 5, 6. I should have crossed them off as I went.
So I'm halfway there probably.
Yeah, about.
Oh, okay, that's gonna get a little harder. Give me Willie Parker.
No.
No,
Willie
okay.
Parker had 75.
Rashard Mendenhall.
You're throwing some names out
Throwing
there,
some
dude.
names out there.
66.
Fudge. Starting to get a little hard here.
You got to think like to like the 2015 to 2018.
Oh,
era.
Martavis Bryant.
Martavis Bryant is on there, the 110. You might not get. This is a tougher one for the guy that who just made the cut at 101.
Martavis Bryant. Give me. Ooh, receivers. Pittsburgh receivers. Why am I drawing blanks right now? Pittsburgh receivers. Crap. Is there all receivers left?
No, there's a tight end.
There's a tight end. Who's the other tight end?
More recent.
Pat Fryermuth?
No.
I don't think he played with.
Pat Fryermuth has 55 receptions. But tight end before Pat Fryermuth.
Tight end before. Oh, Eric Ebron?
Nope.
Oh.
Eric Ebron had 66.
God, who was the tight end before him? Eric Ebron.
Better whip that encyclopedia out.
The encyclopedia is jammed right now.
Here, here's a hint. He has 2 first names. Well, his first name and his last name are both first names.
Ricky Seals Jones.
Who do you know named Seals?
Oh.
That was convincing.
Ooh. Can I get another? Can I get like a college? Can I get like a? Should I know him?
Yes.
I should know him. Tight end before.
He's 29 years old. Plays for the Saints
29.
right now. He's drafted by the Steelers in the 5th round of 2015 NFL draft out of Penn State.
Penn State. Tight end.
Come on, open up the encyclopedia.
Come on. Oh, why am I drawing
We can
blank?
go back. We can go back because
All right.
you're still missing a couple wide receivers.
Okay. Trying to think 2000s. Give me. Wow. Trying to think of that Pittsburgh Super Bowl team from 2008. I don't know. This is hard.
I believe one of the players you're missing would have been on that team.
Okay.
No, 2008. No, This player was drafted in 2009.
2009. So Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, Jesse James.
Jesse James is the tight end.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
Yep.
All right. All right. Let me start cooking real quick.
By my count, I believe you're missing 3.
3. Oh my God. All right. 3.
They're all wide receivers.
All right, receivers.
Like amongst like different eras of Ben Roethlisberger too.
Are these like some hard names? Or are these like?
You're the one you're gonna be like, are you serious?
All right. Deontay Johnson. All receivers. We're at 840. All right. I'll give a couple more guesses. There's probably a Pittsburgh fan like screaming at me right now.
D'Angelo.
D'Angelo Williams. No, he's a running back. I can't do it.
Come on. There's one that you're gonna like smack yourself over the head for not getting.
All right.
Both of them went from the Steelers. I can't even say that because it'll.
Can I have another hint, like an easy, like a harder hint, I guess.
One was drafted in. I want want to say it was 2019.
2019.
No, 2020. One was drafted in 2020.
Already got 2,000 passes or 100 passes. 2020. Is it? It's not George Pickens. No.
2020.
2020. I said Deontay. I said, who is that guy? Calvin? No.
No.
You're slacking, Mike.
I give up.
You done?
Yeah.
All right. So one of them that you missed was Marcus Wheaton. Marcus Wheaton had 101
Marcus
catches.
Wheaton?
From 101 catches from Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, I would not have gotten
The other one, I can't remember if you said it. I don't think you did. Was Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace
I
had
forgot he was
209
there.
catches. He was drafted in 2009, the year after.
Mike Wallace. Okay, I know him from.
And the last one that you're missing, a guy that caught over 100 passes from Ben Roethlisberger, sitting there at 115. Current wide receiver 3 for the Chicago Bears, Chase Claypool.
Here's the thing: is like those last couple years for Ben. I'm like trying to think. Like he retired in what 2020 or 21.
21.
Okay, so then yeah, you threw that many passes to Chase Claypool.
Yeah, Chase Claypool caught 115 passes from him. Not even like targets, receptions.
In 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Huh. Marcus Wheaton, I wasn't getting. Mike Wallace, I probably should have known.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Here, I'll just go right down the list. Antonio Brown, Heath Miller, Hines Ward, Le'Veon Bell, Juju Smith-Schuster, Santonio Holmes, Mike Wallace, Deontay Johnson, Manuel Sanders, Chase Claypool, Jesse James, Martavis Bryant, Marcus Wheaton. That was everyone.
Marcus Wheaton, I wasn't getting. Mike Wallace.
That one was a stretch. I said that one was going to be tough.
Chase Claypool, though, that's the thing. I keep forgetting when Ben retired. I keep thinking he retired like 2019, but it's actually he retired like.
This is only, last year was Kenny Pickett's first full year as a starter.
Right, I forget. Yeah, damn, wow. I didn't think he caught that many passes. I just know him for catching a plethora of touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. 115 receptions. More you know, right?
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's episode 51 of the Big Yak Podcast. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Shout out Ben behind the scenes.
Ben. Yeah,
Moranto's
shout out.
somewhere outside kicking his feet up.
Yeah, shout out Moranto. Shout out Matt Johnson, BICPP Radio Network. Thank you, Emerge. Shout out Underdog as well. Sign up.
Also, real quick, shout out to Zach Benson, the newest Buffalo Sabre, drafted 13th overall.
Oh, really? Zach Benson? What does he play?
Left wing.
Left wing? All right. Shout out Zach Benson.
Hey.
Hey, yo. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next week for episode 52 of the Big Yak Podcast. See you guys later.